Sorry about that. We got cut off, but that's okay. But I teach her to tell me, to talk to me. Um, so she is still sitting here with me. So a little bit more transparent moment. Um, Growing up in a home where you have multiple children with different backgrounds and different experiences and things that have been exposed to them, um, there are things that get swept under the carpet or things that are not seen. Um, so with being molested or being introduced to that sexual door, it does something to a person, to an individual. And yes, we all manifest it differently, we all handle it differently. So instead of allowing my fears to consume me to the point where I over sheltered my children, when Kalia was old enough, I talked to her about her body and everything like that, and I explained to her that there are certain things and certain people um, that it's not okay and it's not acceptable. So Kalia, when we talk about when you're around a family and if something happens or somebody touches you or if somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, what are you supposed to do?
Tell my parent or guardian.
And what does mommy say? Even if it's somebody that we trust, like an uncle or an aunt or a best friend, and they tell you, if you tell, I'm going to hurt you. If you tell, I'm going to do this. What are you still supposed to do?
Tell my parents.
And what is it that I'm supposed to do?
Protect me.
But if you don't feel that you can talk to me, how can I protect you?
By showing how I feel.
So do you think it's important for us to always have an open communication? What I mean is it okay for us to talk about everything?
Yes.
Even if it's something that we did wrong, are we supposed to talk about it?
Yes.
So we don't hold secrets from each other.
No.
Does mommy hold secrets from you?
No.
Unless it's a present or something.
Yeah.
But I don't hold secrets from you. And when I don't hold secrets from you and now you know these things, does it make you a better kid or just the same kid?
The same kid.
You sure?
Yes.
It does make you the same kid, but do you know that when you have information, it makes you a better kid that has knowledge that one day you can give to someone else and that'll become wisdom. So we don't hold secrets from each other. Even if you break something and you know that was my favorite, are you supposed to hide it and cover it up? Or are you supposed to say, this is what I did?
This is what I did.
So hopefully I'm doing right by her. But I just want you guys to be encouraged and to be okay with being open and honest with your children. Not to be afraid to tell them right from wrong. Not to be afraid to tell them this is why we do what we do, or this is why mommy responds this way. I'm not afraid or ashamed to say that I have been introduced to adult living before I became an adult. The difference is I didn't feel that I had anybody that I can talk to. And I love my parents, but not even my parents knew certain things. One, because it wasn't taught to us to say, you see something, say something. That's the new model. If you see something, you say something. Like at school, if you see somebody being bullied, say something. Tell an adult, tell a teacher, tell a friend, even tell the kid that's not okay. But when you grow up in a house that has so many different people, so many different kids, a lot of stuff gets unnoticed or ignored. I can give you an example. When I had a situation where I didn't feel comfortable and I felt like I was being violated, my first reaction was to run. And I did. I ran to somebody that I thought I could trust. My dad wasn't home. So I couldn't tell him. So then when I told my siblings, they was ready to fight. They was ready to go at it. Not just because I was the baby, but because I guess in that moment they knew what was happening was wrong. Even though I didn't necessarily get molested, but that door was open. And plus it was something that was already repeated, something that was already there. So when I told my siblings and my sister came to my rescue, I was supposed to be brought back to my father. And don't take this the wrong way because I love my father to pieces. I love him to life. But I realized at that moment, when you're not equipped or you don't understand or you don't know how to respond to certain things, you don't always say the right things. So when it was brought to my father's attention that I was touched or attempted to be touched in this instance, their reactions was, well, why were you in that room? A lot of people who have been molested or abused or beaten, a lot of our parents' responses was, well, why were you there? What did you do? And then that continues to put you in a place of having a victim mentality of it was me, I should have did it, or if I look this way, I can change it and no one would touch me and no one. But that's not true. But the person that I should have went to be able to say, this is what happened. You weren't there, but now that you're here, help me, take care of it. Because he didn't know, because he wasn't aware, and because he wasn't prepared, the first response he came up with was, well, why were you there? And because in that moment, my sister felt like this isn't gonna go anything, and that's not okay, because she too knew what it felt like. But you're not gonna make me be the issue. Long story short, to bring it all back together, yes, there was some apologies made, and yes, there was some differences. But yes, before the apologies were made, there had to be some healing. There was some separation. There was some discord. There was some heated, angry words. But in the midst of that, I felt lost. I felt like the only living parent that I had left that should have been there protecting me, even though they weren't there, but they were there in the aftermath, they didn't protect me. My father didn't protect me. But at the same time, it wasn't normal for us to express our feelings. It wasn't normal for us to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I've noticed, because it's something that was not taught to us. So I can blame him. I can continue to be mad at him. Or I can look at it for what it was. It was a teaching moment. Was it miserable? Was it traumatic? Was it give me a place to look at my father differently? It did, but it also made me look at my heavenly father differently. Because in my head, I said, if I can't talk to my natural father, how am I going to talk to this man that's upstairs that can see everything and everyone? Why am I so important? You see how the little things that we can take in the natural, how we can pull it to the spiritual? Because there's important. It's important for me to lay the foundation, not just of who Christ was and what he did, but just every foundation that will make my children better in the natural as well as the spiritual. Because even though I can give my daughter the things of the spirit and I can teach her who Christ is, but if I don't equip her in the natural as a mother, as a human to human, everything that she knows spiritually is just a whole bunch of knowledge if she can't learn to apply it within the natural realm of her life. So communicate with your children. I've forgiven my father. I've forgiven the person that offended me, just to bring clarity. I don't get around that person and feel ill. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel upset. I feel at peace. I feel at peace because even though I went through it, and even though it did not feel good, y'all, I don't know what she in here doing. She ain't never clean this. And anyways, even though it did not feel good in that moment, but now that I have gone through that moment, I have passed that moment, and I am standing from that moment. That's just what it was, just a moment. That a moment laid the foundation for me to learn how to communicate and communicate freely, openly, and communicate with my children where they feel comfortable communicating with me. So just be at peace, communicate with your children. It is the year 2021. We always give out these quotes, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this. Mine is, I'm going to continue to be transparent with my children. I'm going to continue to allow my daughter to be heard, to voice her opinion, her likes, her dislikes, her goals, her dreams, her off-the-wall Roblox conversations that I really don't care about. But I gotta listen. Listening is part of communication. You have to listen as well as speak. It goes both ways. So I just tell you to go in love, and that I love my baby and I want what's best for her. And I desire that God operates through her. And that she could just be a kid, but be a kid freely, but be a kid that has knowledge and wisdom to do what's right by our Father and by other people. So just go, and I love you. Say bye.
Bye.